All right, they are the tallest trees in the world. We're talking about California's redwood trees. They've certainly been feeling our weather extremes. And our Mary Lee looked at the impacts of our wild winter on these majestic giants.
Walking on the UC Berkeley campus is like walking in a forest. Check out these beautiful redwood trees. They're about 100 to 200 feet tall. I spoke to a UC Berkeley professor about what our incredibly wet winter will mean for the health of these trees. Professor Todd Dawson is one of the only researchers in the world to explore an ecosystem few of us have ever seen up close before, the tops of the redwoods. He and his team are expert tree climbers scaling these giant trees more than 200 feet high.
Climbing the redwoods has been a really special part of the research that we do. It's really hard to understand an organism that's that big and that long-lived until you actually get up into the trees themselves.
Here on the UC Berkeley campus, Todd showed me the redwoods just outside his office, likely around 100 years old.
Some nice new growth here on this redwood. Springtime, it's looking happy.
Todd says coastal redwoods and giant sequoias are now dealing with something new, weather whiplash. This winter's powerful atmospheric rivers brought a lot of beneficial rainfall to the redwoods, but they also brought high winds, which toppled some trees. Before these strong storms, they were up against another extreme, years of intense drought and ravaging wildfires.
This is a new norm, it seems like. We're going into much more extreme weather, like you just mentioned. We get these extremely wet, very windy times, and then we go into drought for a whole bunch of years. And I think those are really challenging the native vegetation, including the redwoods here throughout the state.
Physics major Elvis Liu sits here in nature every day to de-stress among these massive trees.
And I think there's a big difference between the trees you plant artificially and the ancient woods that are here, have been here forever. In our effort to protect the trees, it makes more sense to preserve the existing ones instead of simply planting new ones.
I think that what we're going to see happen to the redwood forest, and we're already seeing signs of it already, is that their ranges are going to contract.
For centuries, redwoods have survived wildfires and drought. Until now. Experts say decades of fire suppression combined with extreme drought and hotter temperatures have turned overgrown forests into highly flammable fuels. This has led to an ever-increasing intensity of wildfires, unlike anything we've seen before. Too much for even the redwoods to withstand. For Todd, protecting these ancient trees is more imperative than ever.
You know, the results of the latest fuel moisture samples in the Santa Cruz Mountains showed plants are already starting to dry up. Their moisture content is now just over 80 to 90%.